Well, we received a press release and an email this afternoon that states a healthy mind and a healthy body are important, but a healthy wallet is too. Smart Asset, that's a New York financial technology company, recently released a study on the most financially healthy places in the United States, and Inyo County was second in California, behind San Francisco and in front of Marin. How did we not beat San Francisco? The study analyzed debt, bankruptcy, poverty, and unemployment in counties across the country to find where the residents were most financially healthy. According to the study, Inyo County, one of the healthiest places in California. Now, additional details on that study, including methodology and interactive map, can be found at smartasset.com. You want to get to retirement and financial advisor, #California. I've never really said like #California before, so it's kind of exciting. And I might say that Inyo County shuts down on San Mateo County. Conglomerate Mesa, a unique and valuable part of our Eastern Sierra public lands, lies adjacent to Death Valley National Park. Press release from the Friends of the Inyo and the Sierra Club says it remains under threat from the prospect of industrial-scale open-pit cyanide heap leach mining. Now, earlier this year, the press release notes, after much public pressure, Silver Standard Resources abandoned an approved exploratory drilling project known as Perdido. However, Friends of the Inyo and the Sierra Club recently learned that the Bureau of Land Management approved a transfer of the project to the holders of the mining claim. Now, this means that the claim holders can indefinitely pitch the project to other mining companies, leaving the future of Conglomerate Mesa in limbo. Now, said Yura Fogg, Policy Director for Friends of the Inyo, quote, "Our community should be alarmed that we simply don't know if Conglomerate Mesa is truly protected. This landscape is still at risk. We will remain diligent in our efforts to permanently protect the mesa from destructive mining and at the same time defend the conservation commitments the BLM has already made to this place," end quote. That full press release is posted on our website, sierrawave.net. Well, Deb Murphy has filed a trio of stories, also posted on our website, including, how can you tell the difference between frustration and rage? Well, when you do, well, you call law enforcement, and what can they do when they show up? How do you keep your own anger in check when you're getting yelled at? These were some of the questions that the recently formed Workplace Violence Task Force has begun to discuss and hopefully find some answers to. Now, Northern Inyo Hospital began the discussion last May and said Kelly Huntsinger, Chief Operation Officer, if we're working on these issues, what are others doing? Well, to find out, a letter went out to other entities, the county's Health and Human Services Department, other healthcare facilities, law enforcement, the schools, Bishop Area Chamber, as well as the business community. Now, Kelly Huntsinger's goal was a proactive approach that could eliminate or de-escalate potential dangerous situations through education and coaching. We want to be able to train other people to recognize potential danger and stop it before it even starts, Huntsinger said. Now, the task force open to the community. She said she's even heard from restaurants with questions about dealing with inappropriate behavior. Also, Deb Murphy reported that mutual water companies and environmental groups have been waiting a year to find out what their participation in the Owens Valley Groundwater Authority might look like. The question of associate members and interested parties was on last Thursday's agenda, but potential members of either category may never get a seat at the table. The Joint Powers Authority that sent the guidelines for the formation of the Owens Valley Basin's Groundwater Sustainability Agency spelled out participation of groups other than governmental agencies. It was complicated, but gave a voice to groups outside the immediate circle. Wendy Sugamura, Mono County's Community Development Department Director, had a daunting task of presenting options to the OVGA board. Sugamura pointed out the maximum participation spelled out in the JPA would add 13 members to the existing 11 members, raising the question of the cumbersome 24-seat board. Now, Wendy Sugamura presented a range of alternatives that would reduce voting participation by both associates and interested parties. Now, in one alternative, advisory committees would provide input on specific issues with no voting power, and the board would stay at the current 11. Now, Bishop City Council member Chris Costello came up with a solution and get a firm idea of how many associates and interested parties wanted to participate and go from there. Maybe the fear of an unwieldy board was misplaced. Vote was taken. Everyone agreed. Well, 4 candidates, with a 5th represented by a written opening statement, went through the drill of addressing issues at Tuesday's Owens Valley Unified School District board member candidate debate. Cecil Faircloth, Joey Peterson, Allie Whistler, and Keith Leon were at the dais. Norm Wilder couldn't make it to the forum, which was hosted by the Independence Civic Club. Faircloth, Leon, and Wilder are incumbents, and the 5 are going after 3 open seats. As we know, midterm election day coming up this Tuesday, November 6th. Deb's full story, and again, the other 2 are all posted on SierraWave.net. Well, it's been almost 3 weeks since 16-year-old Carly Lane Gousset went missing from her home in Chalfont. That was on Saturday, October 13th. Now, a press release from Inyo County Sheriff Department Sheriff Ingrid Braun said despite a week-long search of the surrounding high desert and a continuing investigation, nothing new to report. Carly Gousset, age 16, 5'7", 110 pounds, dark blonde hair and blue eyes. If you have information regarding Carly's whereabouts, you're asked to contact the Mono County Sheriff's Office, 760-932-7549, extension 7, or the National Center for Missing and Endangered Children, and that phone number is 800-843-5678, 800-THE-LOST. Now, that press release states that at this time, this remains a missing person investigation. There is no evidence of an abduction or any other crime. However, Mono County Sheriff's Department, considering all possibilities, investigating every potential aspect in this case as this case becomes a criminal investigation. Now, Sheriff Braun says, while we understand the questions many people have, we will not release any details from our investigation unless those details will help locate Carly. And Sheriff Braun also writes that due to our remote location and limited resources, brought in the expertise of the FBI and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they continue to assist the investigation. Now, Sheriff Braun also writes it has been suggested that the Mono County's District Attorney's Office play a role. Missing person investigations do not fall under the jurisdiction of the district attorney, nor does that office possess resources that have not already been utilized. It says we have briefed the district attorney's office and will bring them in should the circumstances of the investigation warrant. We'll be back with more news.